Midwest families have been running farms for generations. So why are some city slickers, people here in Washington, now telling them what to do? Here's South Dakota Senator John Thune. Senator, nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see you, Greta.
Well, you've got the right anchor for this interview. I come from a farm state where
Right.
everybody in families worked on farms, but there's a new Labor Department rule that you've introduced a bill to fight, but tell me what it is.
Well, last August, the Department of Labor, in their infinite wisdom, came up with 85 pages of regulations to tell farm and ranch kids, young people, what they can and can't do. And it really is, I mean, it is such an example of government overreach and just excessive regulation. And being from Wisconsin, you can appreciate this, but on family farms and ranches, young people grow up learning how to contribute to the success and the prosperity of that farm or ranch operation. And it's an intergenerational thing. It's been going on forever. They got a great work ethic in rural parts of the country, and this actually cuts right at the heart of that by telling these young people what they can and can't do. And it's very prescriptive and very detailed. They just spell out things, you know, even operating a battery-operated screwdriver under these regulations would be something that would probably be banned. And so we're fighting it, the farm organizations are fighting it, and we're hoping to get more members of Congress interested in it as well.
Well, you know, it's so troubling because, you know, we have so much corporate farming now, to the extent that we still have those old family farms where it's passed down from generation to generation. When I grew up, everybody worked in a farm, everyone in a farm family worked on the farm, had a chore, had a job. I mean, you didn't have the government telling you, you know, whether you could milk a cow or not milk a cow or pack the, you know, do anything. Now it's the government is just reaching into these family farms, and they haven't asked for it.
They haven't, and if you look at the data on this in the period from 2001 to 2009, according to the Department of Agriculture, you know, farm accidents among youth actually went down by 40%. And obviously, parents, people who live in farms know best about how to protect kids. They only get them involved in what are age-appropriate activities. But if you look at what this means, how this translates out in rural areas of the country, people out there are asking, what parallel universe are people in Washington, D.C. living in?
You know, the Secretary of Labor is not from a Midwestern farm. She's from Los Angeles, so maybe she doesn't know sort of how people
Right.
farm in the Midwest. I'm curious, though, what the Secretary of Agriculture has said. Have they weighed in on this Labor Department set of rules?
I asked him at a Senate hearing here not too long ago about that, and Secretary Vilsack did say that
He's from Iowa.
He's from Iowa. He's from a farm state, and in Wisconsin and Iowa and South Dakota, people get this, and he indicated to me that he's trying to work with the Department of Labor to get these moderated. And I'm not sure exactly what that means, but he says I think what he indicated at the time was that this perhaps could have been a lot worse, that because of his intervention, you know, some of these things have been modified to some extent. But if you look at where they're headed, this hasn't changed. I mean, this is still a very far-reaching proposal that will have tremendous implications for American agriculture.
Well, the first thing I thought of is that when I grew up, you might have a family restaurant where everybody busses the tables from age about 7 to, you know, however old. I mean, families run these, and that obviously a farm is not the same as a family restaurant. But I'm curious, what provoked this? Was there some terrible accident, or I mean, why did all of a sudden the Secretary of Labor and the Labor Department think that they had to go into these family farms and tell these families what the kids could or could not do on the farms?
There really isn't any evidence that suggests that there was anything that provoked this. In fact, there wasn't any consultation with the farmer ranch community, with the farm organizations. If you talk to the Farm Bureau, nobody consulted with them. There really isn't any data out there, as I said, that suggests that it was any kind of a problem. And so sometimes it just strikes me that there are bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. with way too much time on their hands who think that they know what's best for other people in this country. But farming and ranching are inherently family enterprises. It's been that way for generations, and you want young people to grow up learning the skill sets that are necessary at some point to take that farm or ranch operation over.
Well, the absurdity of thinking that the Labor Department is going to send out a bunch of Labor Department employees to check these farms to see who's doing what. I mean, there's no enforcement mechanism, I imagine. I mean, what are they going to do about it?
Well, the thinking is that they would potentially have inspectors.
Hire more inspectors. We need more government workers.
Well, yeah, and bust young people because they're on a haystack or a tractor that exceeds the 6-foot requirement that is in these regulations, or working with a farm animal that's more than 6 months old, or working around a grain elevator or stockyards. I mean, these are incredibly prescriptive. This is a dramatic, radical proposal in terms of the impact that it would have on rural America and family farms and ranches.
I think I'm going to close this up, but I suspect he would have gotten a different interview if the anchor had grown up in Manhattan.
That's probably true. That's why we like to do your show.
On the farm stuff. Anyway, Senator, nice to see you, sir.
Thanks, Greta. Great to be with you.